So I have a confession to make. I kind of cheated with this haul, y'all. When my Amazon order finally came in, what? God, this is heavy. I basically opened the boxes and I took a look at all the books inside, but I was determined to have some sort of unboxing type haul. So after I looked at them, I put them right back. I didn't flip through the pages. I didn't take off the dust jackets, nothing. I just glanced at them. I put them right back, and they've been sitting in the corner in my room waiting for me to film this video. So as you can see, I have two boxes here, but I actually want to start with the bigger box because that's the box that arrived first. They both arrived on the same day actually, but it was like two separate deliveries. Anywho's, we shall begin with this box. Let's get started. I was waiting forever for these packages. It must have been a week and a half, and it was the most excruciating wait for a pair of packages I've had in a long time, because these are all the new releases that I've been anticipating, as well as some older releases that I cannot wait to read. So I'm really excited to get started. So right on top is a book by none other than Amy Harmon, and this is Infinity Plus One. And I have been dying to read some Amy Harmon for a while. This is a new adult, and her new adult, I've heard, is really great. She does well with kind of delving deeper and not really so much surfacey plots, but really emotionally gripping plots that are beautiful. Very much like Colleen Hoover. And it's actually blurred by Colleen Hoover up here. It says, one of my favorite reads this year. So I'm really looking forward to it. Bonnie Ray Shelby is a superstar. She's rich, she's beautiful, she's impossibly famous, and Bonnie Ray Shelby wants to die. Finn Clyde is a nobody. He's broken, he's brilliant, he's impossibly cynical, and all he wants is a chance at life. One girl, one boy, an act of compassion, a bizarre set of circumstances, and a choice. Turn your head and walk away, or reach out your hand and risk it all. Sounds really good, and I can't wait. I love like rock star music themed plots, and y'all know I love new adult. Next is another Amy Harmon novel, and this one is one of her really famous ones. This is Making Faces, and Ambrose Young was beautiful. He was tall and muscular with hair that touched his shoulders and eyes that burned right through you. The kind of beautiful that graced the covers of romance novels, and Fern Taylor would know. She'd been reading them since she was 13, but maybe because he was so beautiful, he was never someone Fern thought she could have until he wasn't beautiful anymore. Whoa. Oh my god, I can't wait. Next up is a read that is so hyped that I don't think I'm going to be reading it for a while. And that is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. And honestly, this book has been everywhere. I'm not going to go into the synopsis once again. It's a young adult fantasy, and now I believe it's going to be a series. I heard it was a standalone, but now I'm hearing buzz that it might actually become a series. So I'm really excited. It takes place in a world that is influenced by ancient Rome, and that's all I'm going to say because it's been talked to death on Booktube. Like seriously, everyone's been talking about it, everyone's been reading it, everyone's been hyping it. I've been seeing 5-star reviews everywhere. So because of that, and because I do not want to be disappointed, and I tend to go against the grain of hype, I'm probably going to save this read for like months from now, y'all. Months. Next up is a book I've already read but no longer own, and that is Slammed by Colleen Hoover, and this is book 1 in her Slam series. This I first read when it first came out, when Colleen Hoover was still a self-published author before she got picked up by a publisher, and I fell in love with her. This is her debut novel, and I remember reading it on my Kindle, and I bought it for like $3, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the slam poetry. I fell in love with the romance. I thought it was a beautiful story. It touched me so deeply, and I actually haven't reread it since my first read of it, and like I want to say that was in 2011. Or something crazy, and of course I read it on my e-reader, so I've never actually read a hardback copy, so I'm really excited to own this. Now I have the entire series, and I'm gonna go back and reread this one. Next up is another new adult book, and this is The Sea of Tranquility by Katja Millet, and I've heard a ton about this book. And the funny thing is, I read a book last year that I considered to be one of my like favorite reads of the year, but I didn't put it in my video because I heard that it was plagiarism from this novel. Yeah, the book I read is called A More Deserving Blackness, and I fell in love with it. I thought it was brilliant. And then when I went on Goodreads and looked at the reviews, everybody was outraged and saying that that book, A More Deserving Blackness, was plagiarized from this book, which is The Sea of Tranquility. Now, I hadn't read The Sea of Tranquility. I'd actually read the fake or plagiarized story before the real story, which I hate that. So, but I don't want to judge, you know, I haven't read this, so I want to make my own, you know, I want to make up my own mind, and I want to have my own opinion on this whole scandal. So I'm going to go ahead and read this, and you better believe I will be doing a whole video about both those books and talking all about it. But I've heard nothing but brilliant things about this novel. Everyone who's read it loves it and raves about it. This is another new adult, so I'm really excited to get to this. Ooh, right on top is another highly anticipated release, Magonia by Maria Devana Headley. Got caught up on her name for a second. This book is another book that is seriously overhyped and that has been everywhere here on BookTube. This is another YA fantasy, and it's about an alternate reality. It's about a young girl who, you know, has a disease and she struggles with breathing. She struggles for every single breath. And then one day she looks up to the sky and she sees a ship up there. And she kind of discovers this whole other world in the sky. And in that world she can breathe perfectly, like golden. And so she kind of has a choice to make, because that world and our world, or the world in the book that is also our world, Earth, are about to collide in this kind of war. And she kind of has to pick sides. Is she going to fight for Earth, the planet, or is she gonna fight for this new world where she can breathe and live a normal life? So I've heard amazing things about this. People really love this. They love the writing. They say it's whimsical and beautiful. And it was blurbed famously by Neil Gaiman, saying Maria Devana Headley is a firecracker. She's whip smart with a heart and she writes like a dream. So everybody's been going crazy over the fact that this is kind of very much compared to a lot of Neil Gaiman type stuff. So I'm excited to read this and give y'all my opinion on that whole, you know, subject. Next up, I have a book that I got because of what I heard about it on Ginger Reads Laney's channel. Laney from Ginger Reads Laney loved this book, and this is Amor Amor by Krista and Becca Ritchie. And I've heard a lot about Krista and Becca Ritchie here on BookTube from several booktubers who adore her and just really love that this one series that she has. I think it's the Addicted series, and then she has a spin-off called the Calloway Sisters series. And I've been intrigued enough that I actually bought book 1 in the Addicted series. And I'm excited to see how I feel about them. But back to this one. This is another one of their novels that has nothing to do with those series, and it's about the circus. I believe this is a new adult romance that takes place in the circus. That's all I know. And of course, Ginger Reads Laney kind of convinced me to read this because she just raved about it and she loved it. So I'll see what I think. Next up is a more serious read, and this one, I can't remember whose channel I heard about this on, but the way she spoke about this made me just want to run out and buy it, which is what happened. I added it to my cart in the last minute. And this is All the Rage, a novel by Courtney Summers. And this deals with the topic of rape, I believe. The Kirkus review says, unflinching and powerful. Some other blurbs. There are good books, there are great books, and then there are books like All the Rage, which take a piece of your heart and won't let go. And that is Elizabeth Scott, who is the author of Living Dead Girl. Powerful and heartbreaking, Romy and her story will stay with you long after you've turned the last page. Cody Keplinger, which, as many of y'all know, wrote The Duff. So it's been blurbed a lot and highly praised. Whoa, I cannot wait for this. And last in this box is a release that I have been highly anticipating all year because I am obsessed with this author, and that is Katie McGarry's new one, Nowhere But Here, a Thunder Road novel. I think she's starting a new series, and this one is about motorcycle clubs, which y'all don't know this, but motorcycle clubs is like, that plot is one of my absolute favorite plots of all time. I am obsessed. And I usually read about them more in new adult. So, you know, I think this is a young adult. Is this a new adult? I don't know. But I'm really, really excited. Oh, the protagonist is 17 years old. So there you go. And I guess she falls in love with the guy in a motorcycle club. Don't know. Haven't read the blurb. Don't really care to at this point in time. Kind of want to go into this blind. But I adore Katie McGarry. Her series, the Pushing the Limits companion series, is my jam. I love those books. So yeah, I'm really excited for this. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to finally read this one. So that's box number 1. Totally empty now. Well, except for some bubble wrap. We shall move on to box number 2. Let's open up this baby. Alright, so the first one on top is totally cheating because I've already read this book. Seriously, I've already read it. I could not help myself. And that is The Heir by Kira Cass. And this is a spin-off from her Selection series, and this is going to be another 2 books that are coming after this, I believe. So I'm not going to tell you the plot because this book is literally a spoiler for the Selection series. So if you have not read the Selection series, I'm not going to go into the plot. However, what I will say is, contrary to popular opinion, I freaking loved this book. Loved. Like, adored. And I am so glad I read it. There's a booktuber, I absolutely love watching her channel, but for whatever reason her name is escaping me right now. She's actually the one who really, really convinced me to read this book, and thank you, girl. Thank you so much, because she did a whole video about it and how she loved it and how she's just not going to be ashamed to say that anymore. She's not going to say she's ashamed to love this book and the Selection series. So thanks, girl. I loved it. This was a 5-star read for me. You heard me, 5 stars. And I will definitely have a whole video, and I will try to make it as non-spoilery as possible, but I will have a whole video talking about this and about just the things that it made me think about, and just, I think you guys will find it interesting, the video I'm going to put up soon, because my views on this book and how I read it are very different to, you know, majority of popular opinion and how they felt about this book. So stay tuned for that video. Next in here is a book that I'm very curious about by an author that I'm also very curious about. I own one of her books, but I have not read it yet. And this is another one of her books I own that I have not read yet. And this is Princess of Thorns by Stacey J. Now, Stacey J wrote of Beast and Beauty, which is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I purchased that off Book Outlet, and I'm waiting to read it. I will. Don't give me that side eye. I will. And I've heard really good things about this novel. So I wanted to pick it up, and I wanted to support her because I've heard, like, this book kind of didn't do well sales-wise. And, you know, my heart goes out. As an aspiring author myself, my heart really goes out to this author. I've heard that she's great at what she does, and she's a good writer, so I want to support her. And I want to get her second book, and everyone's read it, has nothing but good things to say, according to the reviews. So I picked it up. And I don't know what this is about. No clue, but right here it says, once upon a time there lived a princess. Will they find their happily ever after? Blah, 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 blah. So yeah, this sounds good, like a good time. Next up is another super hype book that I'm not sure if I'll read it soon or not. I don't know how I feel. But it seems like everyone read it in May and is giving it 5-star reviews, and so I'm very just like leery of reading it right now. Yeah, you guessed it. I had to get A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, and I don't know. I need to give myself some time. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. Apparently it takes place in the same world as her Throne of Glass series, which I have chilling right here, which I have not read. And I'm debating whether I should read the Throne of Glass series first or if I should read this first. I honestly don't know, but I do own them now, so we'll see. But you best believe I won't be reading this for a while because of that damn hype. Next up is a book that I haven't heard a lot about, but I was so intrigued by when I saw it on Amazon, and this is Made You Up by Francesca Zappia. And what intrigued me was like the fact that the main female protagonist is an unreliable narrator, and she is unreliable because she has a mental illness. And I really love books that have characters with mental illness humanizing mental illness and putting a face behind different mental illnesses, and so it's not this like polarizing, ostracizing thing, because it's very real, and so many people have so many different types of mental illness and struggle and deal with it on a daily. Some of my absolute best friends struggle and deal with different types of mental illnesses, and so that's kind of why I really want to support any author that is going to write about characters with mental illness and humanize them, make them real, make them characters that we root for, and make it something that is talked about in a compassionate and truly thoughtful way. Let's play 20 questions. Okay, but I asked the questions this time. Fine, if I guess it before 5, I'll be really disappointed. The corners of his lips twist up in a smile and he said, "Don't insult me. Are you alive?" "Yes." "Do you live here?" "Yes." "Do I know you?" "Yes." "Did I make you up?" On the back, the blurb. She was used to crazy. She wasn't prepared for normal. So in a nutshell, I believe this book is about our female protagonist who has a mental illness. I'm not sure which one yet because I haven't really done too much research on this novel. I will put the Goodreads page below so y'all can go check that out. But she, I guess, meets this boy and they start interacting. She starts falling in love with him, but we are unsure whether this boy is real or if he's someone that she made up in her head. So yeah. A little bit about the author. Francesca Zappia lives in central Indiana and majors in computer science at the University of Indianapolis. She spends most of her time writing, drawing her characters, and reading. Made You Up is her debut novel. So I am so excited to support this author and her debut novel. I will be doing a full review on this after I read it, which I will be this month, and you guys can look forward to my thoughts on this one. And last but certainly not least, the last book I have to show you guys is dun 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 dun. I feel like there should be a drum roll. No, that was a horrible drum roll. Oh my god, that was worse. There we go. Drum roll. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I'm so excited, I'm so excited, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to finally have my hands on The Wrath and the Dawn by Renee Adi, or Adi. I don't know how to say your last name, Renee. I'm so sorry. But this book, oh my gosh. Besides the fact that the hype for this book right now is off the charts ridiculous, I have been wanting to get my hands on this book since I heard this book was a book and it was real, because I'm obsessed with the 1001 Nights story. I love it. I've read it several times growing up, especially. I was obsessed. And I cannot believe that someone made a story out of it, and I love it, I love it, I love it. And for y'all that don't know, which if you don't, have you been hiding under a rock for the past month here on BookTube? But this book is basically about a young prince who takes a wife every night, and every morning she is killed. And basically the young prince has her killed every morning. And this is about a girl who kind of is like actually wanting to become the wife of this young prince because she wants to kill him. She wants to end the cycle of crazy. And so she succeeds, she becomes his wife, but somehow in the morning a miracle happens and she's still alive. Oh my god. And so I guess she starts to see that, not everything is what it seems and all that good stuff. But oh my god, everyone I've seen who's read this in the month of May, and I've been watching wrap-ups, have loved this and raved. So unlike the other hype books, that only makes me more excited. But once again, I probably won't read this until, towards the latter part of the month, because I just want the hype to die down a bit. But yes, this is also just a ridiculously beautiful book. It's stunning. Oh my gosh, look at these pretty end pages. I die. I cannot. Oh my gosh. So needless to say, this is probably my most exciting purchase. I cannot wait. And oh my god, these decorated edges give me life. Give me life. I just want to stare at it. Stare. Okay, I need to calm down. This is ridiculous. And that is it. Box number 2 is empty as well. Well, almost. And that's it for my haul. It's over. It's done. I hauled them all. Let me see if I can lift them. Let's pray to baby Jesus this works. I just realized that these are pretty much all hardbacks with the exception of 3 books. That's crazy, right? That's crazy. And I don't even really like hardback books, but I seem to be collecting an alarming number of them. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 paperback books. Wait. No, 5. Guys, I don't know if this is gonna work. If it was just these books, but gotta fit an ember in the ashes in here. Why though? Pray for me, y'all. Alright, so these are all the... Oh my god, I'm gonna drop something. I feel it in my soul. Okay. So these are... Oh my gosh. All the books I bought. Oh my god, can you see them? I hope y'all can see them all because that's the best I can do. And that is it for this video. I will catch you guys in my next one. Hope you're having a great day or night wherever you are, and see you soon, or on Twitter or on any social media you want to stalk me on. Links in the description. Bye guys. Bye. Gonna go now with all my goodies.